to stop what you're doing and listen.
Hello and welcome to episode 62. I am MOSH, and I gotta bring... What is that? What is that on the wall? Some sort of creature just perched up on the wall. It's like a hybrid. Like half mosquito, half dragonfly. A Dragonquito. How did you even get in here? Alright, well, you stay on that wall and don't bother me. I don't bother you. You don't bother me. We live peacefully. Okay, Dragonquito? Okay. I will keep providing updates on Dragonquito throughout this. It moved. Right after I said that, it moved. I don't know where it went. It looked like it fell. I think it had like a heart attack or something. Just died. I don't know. Great. Now I got this thing flying around here when I'm trying to like record this. I don't like bugs. I lost it. I really don't know where... You know what? Remember this though, Dragonquito, if you can hear me. I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me. Okay? And I got a dog in here for backup. You understand? But he's sleeping. He doesn't care. Anyway, before I get eaten to death, I just wanted to bring up the coronavirus, like, real quick, because things are starting to happen. They're talking about sporting events not having fans, and they're just going to have people, or they're just going to have players play the game with no audience members. Music tours are being postponed, so it's getting a little out of hand. And I saw something where it said you should wash your hands for 20 seconds. 20 seconds? That's it? What? I wash my hands forever until the water is scalding hot and I have at least second-degree burns. When I wash my hands, I know I'm clean. The biggest thing is just the fact that people need to be reminded to wash their hands. Like, that's just ridiculous. You should be always washing your hands. Everything you touch is dirty, and you don't even realize it. You know, one of the dirtiest things you can touch is the steering wheel of a car. Probably don't really think about that, though. Go to a store, you open the door, close a door. If it doesn't have, the automatic open doors, you think those get cleaned? Maybe every once in a while. You go to get gas pumps, you touching that handle, you think those get cleaned? Then you go and you touch your phone, transfers to that, then you're touching the steering wheel. Steering wheel's disgusting. What happens when you go to a restaurant, touching that menu? You think those get cleaned? They're paper. You don't clean those. Unless it's a restaurant that puts them in those little plastic sleeve things. I've seen those get cleaned, but if it's just a regular paper menu, you can't clean that. And they don't just throw them out and print out new ones unless it's all torn up or something. They just reuse them. So you're touching something other people have touched many times. And then you go and you order your food, and it's food you have to handle. You have to touch it to eat it. Uh-oh. If I go to a restaurant and I know my hands might be slightly dirty from touching something, I will order something that you eat with a fork or a spoon. And just so I don't have to touch the menu, I will know what I'm getting beforehand, which is why restaurants have websites. Just look at the menu there. And I ain't gonna use no public bathroom. I'll only use a public bathroom if it's an absolute emergency. I know people want to use hand sanitizer. You really think it kills 99.9% germs? If that was the case, everyone would just be sanitizing instead of washing your hands. You can't always trust that stuff. Holy moly, Dragonquito just came after me. Jesus, dude. He was literally 5 inches from my face. I don't know where he went now. Probably planning another attack. He might have the coronavirus. We don't know. He's offended right now. That's why he just came to attack me. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Touch all that stuff. Touching doorknobs to your house. Do you clean that? Probably not. Touch the mouse to your computer. Oh, you're spreading it everywhere. Like people have been saying, just wash your hands and don't touch your face. Unless your hands are clean. And 20 seconds is not enough time. Dude, it takes like 20 seconds or longer just to get the water warm. Really? You need warm water to clean your hands. Just wash your hands thoroughly, like a surgeon. Okay? And everything will be fine. Lost sight of Dragonquito, but I can feel him looking at me right now. And it's not a good feeling. Alright, so let's move on to gaming. First up, we have Call of Duty Warzone, which is the Battle Royale mode that they are coming out with on Tuesday. So by the time this goes up, it will be out. I'm going to talk about a bunch of info regarding it. It's a little out of order, so you just got to bear with me on this. So it will be available March 10th on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. It is free to play for everybody. This is a standalone game. You do not need Modern Warfare to play this. There are 2 modes to it, Plunder and Battle Royale. The map is very big and can hold up to 150 players right now, and I believe they want to try to expand it to 200. It shares a progression system with Modern Warfare for those people who own that game, and that just means like the Battle Pass. It says players who own both Warzone and Modern Warfare will have access to some additional cosmetic content not available for the free-to-play Warzone players, like the Season 1 Battle Pass items, Season 1 item shop items, and other content that gets unlocked via multiplayer or Spec Ops. Infinity Ward noted that cosmetic differences will remain between Modern Warfare and free-to-play Warzone users. There is no gameplay advantages between the versions, only cosmetic. Call of Duty points do transfer between the games, so you can continue to purchase items from the shop and more if you have Call of Duty points. With 150 players, there's really no screen tearing or FPS drops experienced. 150 players works well in the large map, which is bigger than Black Ops 4's Blackout map. Warzone does not have a private match support, at least not at the moment. Warzone does feature the Gulag, which is a 1 versus 1 system to respawn back into the match if you die. So after your first death in the Battle Royale, if the Gulag is still open, you are transported as a prisoner of war into the Gulag. Depending on how many players are in the Gulag, you may be asked to wait your turn as only one 1v match happens at a time. While waiting, you can actually watch the matches in the Gulag from the top of the ring and throw rocks down at the 1v1 fighters. Being able to watch matches helps if you have another squad mate in the Gulag, as you can communicate to them where the enemy is to win their 1v1. You only get one chance though, and if you lose, you lose. You can only be brought back into the match through a teammate by purchasing you at a buy station for $4,500 in cash. There's a solo mode, duo mode, and a trio mode. No mention of squads. There is armor and health regeneration. Call of Duty Warzone features armor system, but it is very different than Black Ops 4's Blackout. There is no tiers of armor. There is one standard armor, the armor plate. Every single player enters the map with 100 health plus 2 armor plates equipped. Players can have a max of 3 armor plates on their character. With all 3 armor plates equipped, players have 250 health total. The armor plate is one single rarity and there is no variations of it. Warzone features automatic health regeneration, allowing players to get their health back automatically, so there's no bandages or medkits in Warzone. However, there is a stim shot to use, but it is rare to find. Infinity Ward says they wanted to have automatic health regeneration because they wanted this to be a Call of Duty Battle Royale that keeps players in the action all the time. You don't have to stop and sit and bandage up now. When you get hit, you can get to cover for a couple of seconds and jump back into action without having to worry about bandages. The gas in Call of Duty Warzone closes in quite fast and aggressively. With auto health regen, there's a way to avoid damage in the gas. The gas mask. Players can find the gas mask around the map, and when it's in your inventory, your character automatically places it on when you're in the gas. It has its own health levels as well. Sorry, I was looking around for Dragonquito. I haven't seen him in a while. Alright, the file sizes for this. So if you do own Modern Warfare, it'll be between 18 and 23 gigs. If you do not own Modern Warfare, it'll be between 85 and 101 gigs. If you're on PS4, you do not need PlayStation Plus to play this. It is 100% free. If you're on Xbox, you do need Xbox Live Gold, and if you're on PC, you just need a Battle.net account, which you already need anyway to play it, so whatever, and that's free. So PS4 and PC, 100% free to play. Xbox, the game itself is free, but you need the subscription, which costs money, so whatever. What's up with that, Xbox? Warzone features different contracts as a way for players to earn more cash alongside earning XP, weapon XP, and more information in regards to the game. I don't know what that means. Contracts can be located around the map in a tablet pickup that then assigns you to a certain task to complete. The task can vary based on the contract you do end up finding. The reward for completing contracts differs based upon what contract you find. Some contracts let you have additional XP, cash, or can show you a preview of the next circle. There's even a contract, according to Infinity Ward, that lets you see the final circle within the first 10 minutes of the match if you find and execute the specific contract. There's also a second type of contract called bounties. These are specific targeted contracts. If you find a bounty contract, it's all about finding and taking out a certain player who is randomly chosen for that bounty. If you pick up a bounty contract, it will show you the bounty enemy's relative location to go hunt them down. And if you're on the opposite side of that contract, you will get an alert on your screen that there's an active bounty contract on you. Your entire squad gets alerted when one player on your team has an active bounty on them. Warzone has a ping system that is similar to that of Apex Legends, which allows players to ping almost everything in the map and alert teammates of possible items. The map lets you zoom in as close as you want and then press up on the D-pad to then ping items, buy stations, vehicles, locations, and more. Ping system is extremely useful if you have teammates that don't have mics. Oh, and just going back to the PlayStation 4, if you do have PlayStation Plus, you get like an extra celebration pack, which I'm guessing is just cosmetics or something. Warzone has an in-game currency system that is revolved around cash that lets players access new content in Warzone. The cash system is fully in-game only and not impacted by any microtransaction system. Players enter every match with $0 in cash to their name. As you begin to loot and find weapons, equipment, and more, you also will find cash around the map in various quantities. The cash stack you see will be smaller for lower amounts of cash and larger for higher amounts of cash. The entire game really revolves around this cash, as it allows you to get equipment and items from buy stations located around the map. What are buy stations? Buy stations are located in various locations around the map and are easy to see on your map. Alright, we just used the word map too many times in one sentence. With the advanced ping system in Warzone, you can easily mark a close buy station for you and your teammates to see. Buy stations let you use your cash to purchase certain items like kill streaks. Players cannot earn kill streaks the standard way they're used in multiplayer. You have to buy them, or very rarely find while looting. Players can only carry one streak at a time. If you purchase more than one, it will only let you take one, so your teammate will have to hold the other. So there's an image of one of the buy stations, and it shows kill streaks that you can buy. You can buy the gas mask, you can buy more armor plates. It looks like ammo, self-revive kit, all that kind of stuff. Warzone does feature kill streaks. Not all kill streaks from the multiplayer are carried over to Warzone, though. There's a variety of options available when it comes to kill streaks, and some operate very similar to that in multiplayer. There's a UAV streak, but the UAV streak is a very small circle that pings enemies in the radius nearby for you for a set time. It does not show the entire map, only the small area near you. Warzone has a very simplified and unique looting system compared to Black Ops 4's Blackout. There is no backpack, and it feels more in line with a fast-paced Call of Duty action versus a traditional Battle Royale experience that you might expect. What you can carry is also simple. You have 2 weapons to hold, 1 lethal equipment, 1 tactical equipment. You have an inventory management system that is accessed by pressing down on the D-pad. Inventory management is not as complicated as it was in Blackout. One of the best features that Warzone has compared to Blackout is the ability to pick up ammo just by walking over it in looting situations, and because you don't have to set a limit of ammo you can carry, there's no worrying about managing your ammo in your inventory. Warzone features full support for cross-play and also has cross-progression. Players can play with any of their friends across all platforms, similar to Modern Warfare, and similar to Modern Warfare for those looking to jump into Warzone without owning Modern Warfare. You will need an Activision ID and account in order to play, as that's how crossplay works in the Call of Duty franchise. Players who own Modern Warfare and play Warzone will be in the same matchmaking pool as those who are free-to-play owners. There's no separation, Infinity Ward has confirmed. There's a second mode called Plunder, which Infinity Ward wants to be the fun side experience for those who want a more casual experience compared to the intensities of Battle Royale games. Also, I'm getting all this from charlieintel.com, and whoever's writing this, you're using the same words multiple times in one sentence, which you just, don't do. You can't put the word experience twice in one sentence. It's not me saying these things, I'm just reading what I see. I wouldn't write sentences like this. Anyway, Plunder is all about the team who secures the most cash in game. Here's how the mode works. The objective of Plunder is to go around the map and find as much cash as possible to accumulate a total of $1 million. In this mode, the amount of cash you find is dramatically increased compared to the Battle Royale mode. Plunder has a 30-minute timer for players to reach $1 million, When a team reaches 1 million in cash secured, an overtime phase is triggered in the mode. The team that deposited the $1 million in cash has their $1 million secured. During this overtime phase, the amount of cash you find is doubled. The team with the most cash when the time ends wins the match. If no one reaches $1 million in cash by the 30-minute mark, the team with the most money secures the win. A very important aspect for this mode is that respawn is fully enabled. If you die, there's a 15-second timer, and once that's up, you get sent back to redeploy onto the map to get back into the action. There is no gulag in this mode. In addition, players have their own created class loadouts to use in Plunder. Players will also drop their cash when they die. There's a certain amount of cash you will drop when you die, so if you have too much on you, it's a risk to stay in the open, but players can secure their cash and deposit them in one of two ways. The first is through specially marked helicopter pads that are located around the map. At these pads, you have to run up to them, press a button to activate the pad, and wait for a chopper to arrive. When the chopper arrives, you can then deposit the cash you have on you. That cash is then secured and cannot be taken away. But there's a huge risk with these helicopter deposits. There's no cover around them at all, and you can be shot while attempting to deposit. The second way is through deposit balloons that can be found at certain buy stations throughout the map that you have to use the cash to buy. But there's a catch with these portable deposits. It can only take a deposit of up to $150,000. The chopper deposits don't have a limit. Alright, I think that's just about it. All the info on Call of Duty Warzone. So again, the big standout things, completely free to play. It's standalone. You don't need Modern Warfare to play this. You don't need PlayStation Plus. You do need Xbox Live Gold. You do need a Battle.net account. There is crossplay, there is cross progression, and then all the other stuff is just in-game. It actually sounds kind of interesting. I might have to download this. I don't really care for Battle Royale anymore, but automatic health regen, just making things easier when it comes to looting, just walking over ammo, not having to worry about a limit on that, making the armor a bit easier. I mean, I'm interested, so I guess I'll check it out. And again, this goes live on Tuesday, March 10th, so when this is up, the mode will be available. And I think this is the end of Blackout for Black Ops 4, because this is a standalone game. So this is like the Battle Royale mode going forward. So everyone could pretty much kiss Blackout goodbye. Alright, moving on, I'm going to talk about some Final Fantasy 7 Remake, because I played the demo and I uploaded a video on it, just under an hour long. It was like 58 minutes. So check that out if you haven't seen it yet. What did I think? Well, at the very beginning of that demo, I said I had goosebumps, so that's a good sign. I enjoyed it very much. I was skeptical about the combat system. I am no longer skeptical about that. I do need to get used to a few things. My evading is not good. I'm either doing it too early or too late, which I just need to get more used to the enemies and the timing on them, and then evading should become a little bit easier. I need to guard more. But other than that, I'm pretty much fine. I need to keep track of the ATB gauge when I can use items and abilities, because there's one point where I was trying to use a potion. I'm like, why can't I use a potion? And then it finally clicked in my head, oh, I don't have any of the ATB gauge saved up. Because when you're out of combat, I think you can use items whenever you want, but when you're in combat, you have to wait until you have one of the ATB gauges ready to go. And you get 2 of them. At least in the demo, you get 2 of them. Maybe when you progress further in the game, you'll be able to get more bars, but from what I played, there was only 2 bars. But other than that stuff, I'm pretty much good. I just need to be more aware of my surroundings, like the other characters with me. You play with Barrett as an ally in this demo, and for the longest time, I didn't realize he had Cure, so I'm using all these potions when I could just have Barrett heal me. So just little things like that I need to be more aware of, but I'm ready. I'm so ready for this. We are a month away from Final Fantasy VII Remake. Well, the first part of it. This is obviously going to be a thing for many years to come. For however many parts there's going to be. I think it's going to be a 3-part thing, but who knows. The demo is the beginning of the game. It's the bombing run, which is the beginning of the original as well. And I could see it. The places we were running through, I could see the PS1 version of it. And I knew exactly where we were. It's just bringing back all those memories. It was cool. I thought the Scorpion Sentinel fight was a little long, but I guess we can expect boss fights to be a little longer in this game. That's not an issue. Or it's not that big of an issue, but it's the first boss of the game. You think it'd have a little bit less health than it did, but whatever. I'm excited. I'm happy. I have nothing negative to say. Alright, let's end the gaming section with some PlayStation news. So, The Last of Us is getting a TV show on HBO. This is 100% real. PlayStation tweeted about it, Naughty Dog tweeted about it, HBO tweeted about it. So the two main people working on this show will be Neil Druckmann, who is basically the creator of the game. So that's good. If you're gonna turn a game into a show, having the creator of it be involved is very important. So that makes me feel better. And the other guy in charge is Craig Mazin, who was part of the Chernobyl series, and I guess he's a really big fan of The Last of Us as well. So the two main guys in charge, I mean, you probably couldn't ask for better people to create this series, so it's in good hands. Now, a lot of people are assuming that Joel and Ellie are going to be in it, and I'm not sure why, because I don't think that's been confirmed. I could be wrong. I haven't read every single thing about this. I think it's more than likely that they're not going to be in it, or at least not the main characters, because the Last of Us games focus on just a handful of characters, and there's so much more they can do. I think they're going to create a whole new story with other characters. I know one character has been confirmed to be in it. I'm not going to say who because of spoilers. But I just look at it this way. If you create this series about the first game, you tell the story of the first game, and people are like, wow, I want to play this game now. People that haven't already played it. And then they go and play it and realize that they're just playing a game of the same story that they just watched on TV. That might not be as fun. Whereas if you create a show and you show these people this world and these characters and they fall in love with it, and then they go and play the game about these different characters and this different story, then they fall in love with it even more. I don't understand why you would tell a story that you've already told and you're going to continue to tell into the second game. I feel like the games and the show should be two different stories, but that's just me. Two different stories, same world. I would also rather them focus on new characters in the show because, like, who's going to play Joel and Ellie? You're so used to seeing them the way they are in the game, and then to have real people, different real people play them, to me that would just be weird. But if they've been confirmed to be in the show, then everything I just said is worthless. And this is part of PlayStation Productions. A few months ago, I talked about the PlayStation Productions thing and how they want to turn games into shows and movies. Well, here you go. And then lastly, with the PlayStation news, we got a release date for Ghost of Tsushima, June 26th, 2020, this summer, basically a month after The Last of Us Part 2. And with that, we're going to head on over to music. So Ghost played a show in Mexico City. It is like their one show this year, and a reveal happened. So every Ghost album has a main frontman, and it differs for each album. Album 1 was Papa 1, Album 2 is Papa 2, Album 3 is Papa 3, Album 4 was Cardinal Copia, and during the show, Cardinal Copia transitioned into Papa 4, who will be the main guy for Album 5. It's all the same guy, same singer, same dude. He's the mastermind behind the band. He owns the band. It's him. Because every time something comes out, people ask, is it the same guy? Yeah, it's the same guy. You can hear it in his voice. Anyway, so we know what Papa 4 looks like. It's all part of the storyline. Their albums reflect these dudes. Like Papa 1 and Papa 2 are older, so the music sounds a little older, a little bit more mature. Papa 3 and Cardinal Copia were younger, so the music kind of reflects that more, especially on the fourth album. A song like Dance Macabre, you ain't gonna hear that on the first album. But because Cardinal Copia was like a younger dude, a younger character, it makes sense for that song to exist. Yada yada yada. He is now Papa 4, so the next album will probably sound like Album 3 maybe. Confused? Great. Anyway, in the post it said, we'll see you in 2021. Now the post was directed towards Mexico City, so in my head I'm thinking what they're saying is, we'll see you next year. Like, we'll come back next year to play a show for you. Or is directed towards everyone, since they're not touring this year, saying we'll see all of you in 2021 when we tour again. But some people interpreted this as them saying the new album is not coming out until next year, even though they said it was coming out this year. And the whole reason they're not touring this year so that they can work on the album and release it this year. So I don't even know what it meant. Is it coming out this year, next year? I don't know anymore. I was super excited because they're one of my favorite bands. And I for sure thought it was coming this year because that's what they said. But now all these people are doubting it. Now I'm starting to doubt it. And I guess there was an article where the main guy, his name's Tobias. Alright, I'm just going to call him Tobias. I guess he said that he didn't want to release an album during an election year in the US. Which makes no sense to me. I don't understand that at all. I tried to read the article, but it wouldn't load. So obviously couldn't read it. I couldn't see what his explanation for that was. Will New Ghost happen this year? Maybe. Maybe not. Moving on to Fever 333. They released a new song that they wrote, recorded, and mixed in 24 hours. I guess they challenged themselves to just make a song in a day, and they did. I don't think they used the full 24 hours, though. I'm sure they did it in less, but it's good. For the time they were given, it's good. It's called Presence is Strength, and I'll put a link to it in the description. And then moving on after that, we have Dead. Finally, this Thursday, they're releasing 2 new songs. They're calling it a micro EP called Mannequin Eyes, because one of the songs is called Eyes Sewn Shut. The other is called A Mannequin Idol. I have no idea why they're calling this an EP. But 2 new songs this Thursday. Pretty excited about that. And then you have the new Ocean Grove album on Friday. New Fit for a King song on Friday. Hoo-wee. Alright, time to move on to the weekly pick of the week. I'm going to recommend a song. You've heard of me say their name so many times recently. Ocean Grove. Once I review their album next week, you won't hear me say their name for a while. Unless the song on it's super good and I recommend it, then we'll see. Anyway, recommending this song called Thunderdome because it was released on March 13th, 2017. New album comes out March 13th, 2020, exactly 3 years apart from each other. And in the song he says, on 3 we're dying, 3-year difference. Makes sense. The guy singing in the video is Running Touch. He is a member of the band. He only writes with them though, he doesn't tour or play shows with them anymore. But he does sing on this song and he's the one dancing around in the video. And in the box on his head with all the band members on it, he's the one with the black hat that's like covering his eyes. I feel like I've recommended this before, but I can't remember. If I have, whatever. It's just to celebrate the release of the new album. Because their last album came out in March of 2017 as well. And March is the 3rd month of the year, 3-year difference. There's a lot of 3s going on right now. Fever 333 just talked about it. What is going on? Ocean Grove, Thunderdome. That's the pick. Now on to the weird story of the week. Dozens of people have been injured in the annual Exploding Hammer Festival in Mexico. The event, which takes place every February, involves people attaching a mix of sulfur and chlorate to the ends of sledgehammers. They then smash the hammers against rail beams, making the substance explode, and sends up a massive cloud of smoke. This year, one man hurt his leg in the blast and had to be carried off on a stretcher. Others were less seriously injured, bringing the total to 43 people who got hurt. The small town of San Juan de la Vega is famous for the festival, which is dedicated to St. John the Baptist. According to legend, the town's namesake, San Juan de la Vega, was victim to theft from bandits who took his gold. St. John the Baptist helped get it back and became a Mexican Robin Hood. This year, over 6,000 people attended the festival, including spectators. Over 100 police officers were present to oversee it, as well as ambulance workers on hand in case of emergency. In case of emergency, yeah, think these people are exploding. Anyway, that's going to do it for me this week, so thank you for listening. There will be links in the description to Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn if you want to listen on those platforms. There will also be links to Twitter, Twitch, Discord if you want to follow there. And with that said, I will talk to you guys next week. Later.